Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 3rd of June. I'm Philip Kingston.
I'm Adam Josky.
And Adam, I suppose the viewers are probably wondering what is all of this activity in the background?
Myself, I don't know.
Where are we?
We're at the Australasian Real Estate Conference for 2014. 3,400 delegates. Apparently it's the largest conference ever in the Southern Hemisphere. So it's very exciting.
But where are we?
Oh, we're in the Gold Coast Convention Centre.
And it's a beautiful day outside, 23 degrees. Beautiful blue skies. The waves are crashing as we speak over the beach in Broadbeach. But here we are, stuck inside. But having said that, Adam, what a blast. I only got up here last night. This is a two-day conference. It's the biggest real estate conference, you said, in the Southern Hemisphere. But you were here all day. How was it yesterday?
It was a long day. I've got to say it was amazing. I mean, they've got the most incredible speakers. And we come up every year or two, and the vibe's just amazing. And it's just one speaker after another, and the most inspirational speakers. It's incredible.
Well, speaking of inspirational speakers, Adam, it's a bit controversial this year because the keynote speaker is Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
Now, it's controversial because should the real estate industry really be looking to this man for any sense of inspiration? Tell us, how was his first speech yesterday? Because he is speaking again today. But
Yep.
What did you get out of it yesterday?
Well, it was interesting because yesterday he spoke very much on sales and sales techniques. So I think a lot of the room got a few key points out of it. I think today will be interesting because today he's talking more about his life and his. I think he's titled it From Prison to Hollywood. So, But yeah, no, it was quite interesting yesterday. But as I say, very controversial.
Let's talk more about the local real estate scene. It's great to be up here on the Gold Coast because there's always so much activity. You know, I go around and there's apartment buildings. Everything seems to be for sale on the Gold Coast. But let's talk more importantly about not the Gold Coast. Let's talk about what's happening back in Melbourne. We had a pretty good weekend. We had 19 out of 26 for the weekend, Adam.
Clearance rate of?
Clearance rate of 73%. Now, the industry average apparently was 73%, but it always gets scaled back. Ours is real. We've talked about this on GPTV before, where our clearance rate, when we say it's 73 or 80 or 90 or sometimes 50, it's a real clearance rate. The clearance rate of the industry always gets scaled back a bit.
That's right.
Because a lot of agents don't report if they've had a shocking weekend. They don't report.
They only report the successes.
Correct. We are on GPTV, always happy to talk about our successes, less happy, of course, to talk about our failures. Daly Avenue, that was an interesting sale, Adam. The block of 4 in Daly Avenue in Elwood. A block of 4 that we sold on one title. The price there, well in excess of our quote range. We thought we'd sell it somewhere in excess of $2 million.
Is that a disclosed price, Philip?
And that's a good question, so I'm just going to look down in my iPad now to see whether the price is
Can we
undisclosed.
tell them anyway?
And it is undisclosed, so we can't talk about that, but certainly we sell a lot of blocks of apartments, and that was a terrific one, certainly great for the
And it was
small
between
investor.
what and what? Can we get a clue?
Well, we can say that it sold in excess of the quote range that was $2 million, well in excess of that.
And under 10.
Another interesting sale, Adam, was the sale that you handled together with Darren Krongol in Umarella Road in Caulfield South.
Yep.
Now, that to me was a staggering sale. Tell us about that home.
Look, it was a fantastic result, great price, but look, it was a beautiful renovation. The owners had been there for, I think, about 10 years, renovated into 2 stages. Had amazing numbers of people through, and it was just beautiful. It was just one of those houses you just move in and enjoy and do absolutely nothing.
A real compliment to the owners of that, and I'd welcome all of the viewers to click on the link to that property because it's still live, because that's one of the best renovations I think I've ever seen within its budget range. I think that it was just so clever. All of the rooms were in the right spot, really well done, and that we were thinking that it was going to sell around the 1.2, 1.3 mark.
1.3-ish, yeah.
What did it sell for?
Over 1.4.
Which is an astounding result for you, Morella.
Yeah.
Because it is true deep South Caulfield, and that's certainly a new record price for a property.
In fact, we had a really good video. If you want to get a good perspective of a good renovation, have a look at the video attached to that house, which is number 2 Umarella Road.
I'm going to talk now briefly about a house that was meant to go to auction on Saturday. That was at number 32 Saturn Street, a home that was a big family home that was handled by Darren Krongold and Sally Zellman.
Sold before?
Sold before, undisclosed. We're quoting $1.6 million plus.
So what did that sell for?
Sold for well in excess of the quote range. And what we're now seeing, viewers, is that big family homes that really 18 months ago, 2 years ago, the range of price for those big family homes in South Caulfield was really 1.4 to 1.6. without giving the price away on that house, the new range for houses like that is the $1.6 to $2 million range. So Caulfield South, Adam, has been completely re-rated. Is that what you're finding?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I think it's probably had as much, if not more growth than Caulfield North.
Yeah.
But it's still affordable. It's surrounded by a lot of very expensive suburbs, so there's starting to be a bit of an inflation. I think people can see value with Caulfield South still.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that we now say affordable is that $1.5 to $2 million range for the big luxury homes in Caulfield South. Whoever thought that 3 or 4 years ago that we'd be saying $1.5 to $2 million was an affordable price range? Adam, interesting story at 20 Flowers Street in Caulfield South. That's a property that you and Joel were handling. Now this is a great auction story, and this happens to us week in, week out, and another compelling reason why the auction system works. Tell us what happened there.
That was interesting because we had one buyer who we felt was really keen coming into auction. They'd been through numerous times. We felt we only had one. We weren't sure if the buyer was going to be matched up with the owner's expectations. There was at one stage actually where the owner said, why don't we pull the property from auction? And we said, look, go to auction. We've got an expression in our office where there's auction, there's life. And we went to auction. We had 2 buyers turn up on the day who'd never seen it before. And both of them pushed the eventual buyer up. We end up getting close to $50,000 more than the reserve. So
that's an amazing story, and whilst the viewers might think it's amazing, it happens to us week in, week out, and you made an interesting comment about where there is auction, there is life and hope, and that is a saying in our office. I think in our history of our company, I think we've only ever cancelled 2 auctions in our entire time. Now, sure, we pass plenty of properties in, but the reality is so many people arrive on the day of the auction, have never seen it. They're probably in the market, so they're educated buyers. They just might not have seen it within that 4-week window, and they arrive on the day and buy it. And there's a classic case where your one buyer that you thought may or may not have been able to equal the reserve actually not only bid, competed, but the property ended up selling for well in excess of the reserve price.
With 3 bidders, and it was a very competitive auction. In fact, one of our better auctions for the weekend in the end.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, Adam, getting back to why we're here at AREC, we come up on a regular basis to AREC. Sometimes it's in Sydney, sometimes it's on the Gold Coast. I think it was on the Gold Coast last year. And it's always a really exciting place to be. And certainly at the moment we're standing in the supplier hall or the sponsors hall, and you can walk right around this hall, and there are sponsors. For example, we're here at the Visual Domain stand.
But very good Visual Domain.
Visual Domain are terrific, and they do all of our videoing. But I look around the hall, and there's some amazing sponsors to have a look at. But one of the reasons we're here, of course, is that you, out of all of the agents in Australia, have been asked to speak at AREC. And for the viewers to understand, it's an amazing privilege and opportunity to speak here because you're speaking in front of really Australia's best real estate agencies. So tell us about what you're going to be doing. I think you're on a panel of speakers.
Well, I thought you were talking about sponsor. I thought you were going to say that I was a sponsor, but no, I'm not donating any money to the cause at all.
No, you haven't paid to be a speaker here.
No.
You're a guest speaker. Let me rephrase that.
Yes.
So tell us, what's the panel about today?
So there's a panel of 3 speakers just talking about their life and how they do things, and interviewed by the King, Tom Panos, who's a bit of a real estate guru worldwide. So yeah, he's going to throw questions at me. What we're going to talk about, I don't know, and I'll just sit there and answer the questions.
I think Adam's underselling this a little bit. At the end of the day, we're here with 3,500 real estate agents from across the country. There's a lineup of about 25 speakers. 20 speakers. Adam's one of those 20 speakers, and he's going to be on a Q&A panel. Tom Panos is going to be anchoring that panel, and basically, in order to be on this panel, you've got to be a superstar agent. So we're very proud that Adam's been asked to speak here, so we're looking forward to speaking to him. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to finish GBTV.
I've got to get mic'd up.
You've got to go and get mic'd up.
And if I'm late, I'm holding up 3,500 people, so that won't look good.
So good luck today.
I'll give you the mic.
Take a few deep breaths, and we'll see you as we look down and see you from the stage. Good luck.
See you.
So we certainly wish Adam good luck. He'll be speaking in a few moments, and certainly looking forward on next week's GPTV to giving you a critique, giving him a score out of 10. No doubt he'll be right up there with 10 out of 10. So one of the reasons that we do come up here to the AREC conference, and why agents right across Australia do come here, is it's a mixture of solid information about the to-dos and the not to-dos in the real estate industry, but also it's a time for motivation. We find that coming up here, listening to a whole range of speakers, and a lot of the speakers are not necessarily necessarily real estate agents, but motivators. There's a number of Americans that are over here at the moment, and certainly listening to some of the American speakers, and we might try and get some footage either for this GPTV or for a later one. They are the greatest speakers. They're certainly one of the most inspirational types of speakers that you're ever likely to hear. So from Aric at the Gold Coast, in one of the sunniest, most beautiful parts of the world, it's been great bringing GPTV to you. Look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Philip Kingston. Have a great week.